Cherry Grove Point in South Carolina. Wanted to thank you for tuning in, and also to let you know that I'm off of some of my YouTube limitations. I was on a ban for a week, and now I'm back. Glad to be back. I want to thank you all for your public and private encouragement. You can reach out and call me, text me anytime. I'm exposing the truth about everything that I've found out about so far. Let's change that lighting a little bit. All right. Hope you're having a great day whenever you're watching this. So with the help of people from all over the world, and most importantly, the Almighty, I'm exposing the truth about everything that I found out about so far. Came out here on the motorcycle today, so I'm on a backpack and sun gazing and loving life. It's a beautiful place to be. There's some family photo ops in the way out there on the other side of the fishermen here. Professional family photo ops. Expensive equipment, at least 3 of them going on right now. How about that? So I'll meet people from all over the world. I had an opportunity to talk to some of them this morning. What I've compiled is a deep learning artificial intelligence research library that encompasses so many topics that are censored, including to have the individuals talking about it have been killed because of their bravery or naivete, maybe a combination of both. People just saying, I've got to tell others about this. And sometimes that's one of the last things they get to do. I decided to put it all together in one place. Well, not one place. My research library crosses over all the individual platforms that I can be on. Facebook, YouTube. The computer code is my name and phone number. Or are my name and phone number? Something like that. So there may come a time when I'm no longer available to do this. Maybe I've been permanently silenced. Could be. We've all got an expiration date and none of us know when it is. I couldn't even make it happen when I tried to suicide myself in 2005 because the pain and difficulty of this life had gotten to be too much for me, and I was on pharmaceuticals as directed. Now look at that. It's a sea level liquid mirror. They all showed up for this. Unaware that it would be happening. Good morning. So I flashed them my badge. I don't know if they'll want to see that. Maybe later. Look at the difference in lighting. Who's calling the shots? Who's calling the shots there? Who's calling the shots in this world, this Twilight Zone, Matrix, Terminator, Truman Show experience that we're living in? Pretty wild, I would say. So I've got to be very cryptic on any of the topics that I talk about. So one of the penalties recently is that I've been unable to add to or manage my playlist, which is like getting locked out of a huge portion of my library. I get pretty choked up out here. Look at the stages of life. That's the big story. I can't just run up to them and tell them all that I know, what I found out about. However, I can give them a card, which I do on a lot of occasions. Sometimes it freaks parents out if they see me photoing or live streaming. It's like you can look my name up and see what I'm about. I'm exposing the human atrocities worldwide. I'm one of the good guys. As one of my friends calls me, he says, "You're my God guy." Apparently he's worked in black projects as a sniper and actually reached out and touched people from a distance permanently. We've got unacknowledged projects that I'm covering in my library. There are people that can talk about things that I can't, even on this platform, so I'll let them do it. I found their content to be extremely beneficial, and if their channel is taken down because of a violation, mine can still stay up there potentially unless they view it too big of a threat to their structure. So virtually unlimited free energy from the sun, from the water, from the magnetism, the way that things actually work, the way the world actually works. How about that? So there's a lot of human tragedy. I've got friends that have died of cancer. My mother died of cancer, and I've got all kinds of information about that. You can check it out if you care to. I believe medical misinformation is very likely what they found that or said that I did that was wrong. So I've got the Nobel Prize winning and nominated doctors, scientists, and people that just discovered some things and shared it with anybody who will listen. Even those who won't. Notice how that sun follows the eyes of the observers in this shared simulated reality that we're all looking at right now. I'm looking at it on my phone, and as well right out here at the point. So if you're looking at if you or I or anybody is looking at something on a computer screen or TV, we're very likely looking at a simulated reality. I can't create the water and the stuff and the people. I can turn on my iPhone 11 Pro Max and show you. I can show you a world that is much like the Matrix, not just here, it's also in my research library, elaborating on these very controversial topics. So the official narrative is what's viewed as, well, there's the truth and a whole bunch of everything else. That's what I would say about that. Oh wow, there's Don't Worry, Be Happy song going on. If I get too close to them, it might throw me a copyright strike. That's how observant the AI is. Don't worry, be happy. I heard his life didn't end well, that gentleman. I heard he took his own life, unfortunately. So our lives are a bit of a contradiction, and can be, in how we live. I had presented a persona to friends and family and co-workers that was not authentic. So I was actually, I thought I was born again in 1982 until I actually was in 2014, when I was made an offer I couldn't refuse. Why would I want to? I had an opportunity to trade in my rags for his riches. I'm going to have to offload this coat in my backpack. It's nice to be able to do that. Hopefully the sound is coming through okay. I'm gonna have to get a new cord. I have a new friend. She's an author, Beth Martins. She wrote a book about the journey, the hero's journey, and more. You can see it on my Facebook if you like. We're connected now on Facebook. Oh wow, I'm gonna get rid of another couple of layers. I'll be barefooting it. I gotta lose all this stuff. So what I was going to go back to is people that see someone with the camera doing a live stream. There's live streams going on all over the place on the surveillance cameras and all of that. We're not in Kansas anymore. It's literally mind-blowing what's going on in today. The advancements of technology. So as a critical thinker that, here, this is so interesting. Let me set this down and share something with you. My parents said to me when I was a young boy, they said, Bobby, you're the most level-headed young person or young boy we've ever seen. Level-headed as in being able to look at information critically and come up with an adult-like perspective in many cases. Well ahead of my time. Now, if any of what I say or did say that you've ever heard sounds braggadocious or like I'm tooting my own horn, you're totally entitled to believe whatever you can believe. I'm not the guy that I used to be. I've been born of the Holy Spirit, so I'm better than I was. That's the point of that. It's not that I'm better than you or anybody else per se. I don't even know who you actually are exactly as I'm doing this live stream going out to potentially anybody in the world. Okay, so let me flip this around and say that I've been radically changed, and the Almighty lives in and through me and all of his children that are actually born of his Spirit now or will be. So much of what we've been told is not true. I know that, let me say, for me, a lot of what I had believed to be factual was not. It was intentionally deceptive. So in my deep learning artificial intelligence research library, I'm exposing the truth about everything that I've found out about, and the truth tellers and the deceivers alike are there. So, as I say pretty regularly, divine intervention is going to be required to love and believe the truth, let alone find it. So, reality indicates what's real, what's true. The challenge is to overcome the lifetime of deceptive programming, and that may have some actual truth programming along with it. Keep in mind, an effective deception has a high concentration. It'll be very different. We viewed journals to the advertisement of, let's say, Mountain Dew or Monster or Red Bull or any of the energy drinks and power foods that are mass marketed by corporations, the cars that people drive, where they go, what they eat, what the people eat and drink, and where they or where we live is going to have a huge effect on our exposure to the level of manipulation, the system effectively holding humanity hostage by the system that they created, requiring so much money, additional money because of the lack of purchasing power with fiat currency printed like crazy. The World Central Bank, the Illuminati, the controllers of this power structure of the world. You can see the people that are involved in it in my library. I continually update it regularly. And in an effort to maintain my channel's function, I don't want to say anything that's going to get me booted off of this platform. What I will share with you, if you like videos that are on my channel, you may want to save the playlist to your library, but you won't be able to find them because they made everybody's playlists that we add to the library private. As far as I know, I had more than 100,000 videos in my research library, and they made them all private. Now, they are publicly viewable if you go to the channel that created them. So one of the training clues that I want to give you in your research, if you like a video that I've shared, even though it may have only a few views, you can go to the channel and see if they have playlists that have much more. And one of the things that I want to share with you too is many of the videos that I have in my library are mirrored, meaning they were mirrored from somebody else's channel, and that original video may have had millions and millions of views. So one of the other clues is to go to the landing video on my channel, which is called Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. And I've got over 650 hyperlinks in the comment thread, and I add to that regularly. Right now, I can't apparently make a community post, but I'm still able now to manage my library quite a bit more. I could take videos out, I just couldn't move them around after a certain amount of time. I don't know how long that actually was. But it was devastating to me. I made a misstroke and I removed a video out of one of my main playlists that was sent to world leaders, and well, I couldn't put it back in except to, well, it was in on other playlists, it just was off of the one main playlist. So if you save videos to the watch later category, you'll be able to see that, but I believe that's private. You can't share that with others. If you like a video, all the liked videos playlists were made private. Why? Was it because of what I was doing? Could be. I have a 5-minute and 22-second video that explained how on December 5th of 2019, they made, as far as I could tell, that was the day all of our liked videos playlists were made private. And leading up to that, I encouraged people to, if they wanted to share a message and put that together, share the link to their liked videos and liked videos that they like and want to share with people. Well, that all changed. So is some of this censorship happening because of what I'm doing? Yes, for sure, and what others are doing as well. I'm not claiming to be like the only truther guy. Obviously, you can see the truth tellers in my library. Where did I get the bravery to do it? It didn't come from me. It's not part of my original equipment. The human nature is deceptive and well, for me, I was deceptive and afraid. Now, I just want to know and expose the truth about everything that I've found out about so far. Doesn't that look funny? Shadows long in the morning based on, or sunsets too, based on the source of light and the object that's creating the shadow. And then we've got shadows and reflections and all of that, all over the place. What can you recognize? How accurate is your situational awareness? People get really bent out of shape with that, I gotta say. A really inaccurate way to determine truth is our personal appetite. And what I'm about to say is going to be a bit contradictory sounding. I want to qualify it. So my desire, above all, is to know and expose the truth about everything that I can. And so what do I do and how do I live? Where do I go? Well, it largely exists under that, wanting to obey God and to do what He created me to do. And I'll ask Him what He wants me to do, not just from time to time. I want to stay in that posture of willingness and desire to obey. In those lines, He gives me real-time direction and leading. And if I want to hear the audible voice of God, I will listen to His Word, the audio Bible. You can find it on Bible.com, Bible.is, downloaded billions of times in all the major languages of the world. So now I have a power living in and through me that I previously didn't have, and direction from the Almighty. And I understand people believe there's a lot of different Almighties. There's a spiritual smorgasbord out there. I get that. I'm aware of that. I still invite you to consider what I'm exposing. So there will be people that have cosmological perspectives that are different than reality. I believe they're wrong, and yet they may have some really important things right that they're covering. And then the other thing is, some of the videos you can look at were created years ago, well before the 2014 resurgence of biblical cosmology, or some know it as flat Earth, or the geocentric perspective, the geocentric cosmology. In Genesis 1, with a stationary level Earth and a firmament above us. I'm good with that. Really good with that. It means that the Bible gets it right and the science fiction gets it wrong over and over again. They're liars. They're lying. I ain't buying. That's the way that is. Whether you like it or not, the Earth is stationary and level. That's the observable reality. I prove it over and over and over again. There's no curvature on the horizon. of the imaginary spinning, wobbling, gyrating water ball hurling through space, and the fantasy of going to the moon and Mars and all that is fakery. Oh well. If you believe it, if you believe that we're living on a wobbling, gyrating water ball, it just means you're deceived about that. You may have some other stuff right. However, I can assure you that there's a lot of Masonic Satanism and Masonry and all of that in the deception and outright magic going on, witchcraft. And the other thing with the quantum supercomputers, they talk about pulling answers out of a different dimension. Yeah, absolutely. I believe that they do. It's like a digital high-tech Ouija board. And people are connected to you can see him here, Yuval Noah Harari, the homosexual man, the lapdog of Herr Klaus Schwab, talking about we can now hack all the humans. Well, you can maybe hack some of them, some of the people, some of the time. And I would say, you know what? I believe that the Almighty protects and directs me. I'm all in on that. So the protection and direction of the Holy Spirit is something that not everybody has. And why is that? I believe it's divine providence. He predetermined who his children would be and where and when they would live. You can hear it in Acts 17. If you care to, the Apostle Paul used to be Saul of Tarsus. And you can see what the power structure did with the way, the truth, and the life. Jesus Christ, they killed him. You can look at it. You can hear it if you want. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the live stream and head on for a motorcycle ride. Thank you for your public and private encouragement. And let me do an end screen with my information again. This will also be on an Odyssey video that's mirrored on the Odyssey platform. See the difference the lighting makes? How about that? Shadows and reflections all around. Nice to know so many of you. I've had a privilege of meeting many of you face to face. So I believe that'll do it for now. I'm going to end this stream. Thank you so much for your public and private encouragement. Let me just set this down and level it out a bit. Alrighty.